Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pesky Poll podcast. My name is Robert. This is Ari, and we have a very, very special episode for you guys. Two episodes in 1 week. You should be seeing this on Saturday, and we have our regular scheduled episode coming out on Sunday, the Lord's Day. Ari, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing
Man,
great.
it has been awesome. Today we have a very, very special episode. We are interviewing 12th round pick from the Colorado Rockies from UC Irvine. He's a middle infielder mostly, but also plays third base. His name is Christian Koss. Now, I'd really, really ask you guys to watch this video through, especially if you are a Boston Red Sox fan. Get to know this kid because he's only 22 years old and he's gonna make some noise
Oh
in
yeah.
this Red Sox organization. Ari, this is gonna be a fun episode. Make sure you guys like and subscribe on YouTube so you get to see these beautiful faces, as is every week. Spotify and iTunes gang, I know you guys are listening to us. Make sure to hit that follow button. Want to keep this intro short and sweet. Let's get right into it. So, guys, with us today, we have one of the newest members to our Red Sox organization, Christian Koss. Christian, how you doing today, buddy?
Doing good. Yeah.
Great. Man, we're so excited to have you on. We got a bunch of questions for you. We want to get to know, and we want our fans to get to know you personally, not a little bit more the baseball side, but a little bit of your personal side too.
Gotcha.
So they get to know you once you make your way up to the ranks. So,
Yeah.
Ari, you want to get us started off?
Yeah. All right. So, their first question: what was your favorite team growing up?
Favorite team? Ooh, okay. So I had a couple.
Okay.
Originally was the Giants. Barry Bonds was my favorite player, like active player, because that's when I was like 5'6" when he was doing his numbers.
Yeah.
So it was always that. And the Orioles. Cal Ripken was my favorite player who wasn't playing. So that, and it was. I've always had this orange thing. Been around the color orange. So those teams played part in it too. So yeah, it was always those two, and then there was a little, kind of like a 2-year span. I was a Dodger fan. My older sister was a Dodger fan because of Nomar Garcia
Okay.
Parra, and they were on the end. So I had a little Dodger stint when the
Yeah.
Sean Fink. Yeah, they had but then I want to say probably around like middle school, it became I stopped rooting for teams, and it was just about watching baseball and absorbing as much as I could.
Cool. Yeah.
And you grew up in California, right?
Yeah, Riverside.
Oh,
Nice.
nice. What was I say? Yeah, we never remember Noma in a Dodgers uniform. That unlocks some
Yeah,
terrible
we
memories.
don't
for
talk
me.
about that,
Not gonna lie to you, Mike. So growing up, I know you kind of mentioned a couple, but did you have any other idol players that you really looked up to?
Miguel Tejada, he was my first autograph, so that goes. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
went to a lot of Angel games. So I didn't like Vladdy because we would always go to the Orioles Angels, and I swear I probably went to like 7 or 8 Orioles Angels games, and Vladdy had 3 walk-offs. Yeah, every time it seemed like Vladdy was the one beating us, so I had a little thing. No shortstops. I've always been drawn to. Talk about Cal Ripken, Jeter. I like Tatis right now.
Oh, that guy's awesome.
The energy that he can bring, and doing it at that position is unreal. So yeah, I'm drawn to shortstops, I'd say.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Those are great guys.
Absolutely.
So,
Alright.
talk to us a little bit about your time getting recruited by colleges. Like, was it a hard decision for you, and ultimately, what led you to choosing UC Irvine?
Yeah, it wasn't. I wouldn't say hard. I had one offer going into my junior year from Cal Baptist University. They ended up being they're D1 now. They're for Riverside, but both my parents had went there back when it was a college. It wasn't even a university. So they were the first school to offer me, and I really wanted. I was so like I need an offer, I need it, and so I was tempted to, commit and do that, but talking with my parents, kind of just kept an open mind about it. So played that season, had a couple more schools, a lot of big West schools reached out to me. But Harvard was another school that reached out. And so I had options, but nobody had sent me. I didn't have offers yet. I had people like, yeah, we like you. Yeah, we like you. And yeah, so actually I had a close family friend who was the shortstop for Irvine when they were in the College World Series. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, and the coach had reached out to him about, do you know any middle infielders? Like, we're looking, you know, he threw my name out there. So Irvine went and watched me at a game. They called me after the game. We're like, hey, we want you on a visit. Went on the visit, and Orloff, who's the head coach now, said all the right things to me. Talked about just development, stuff like that. Never about this. We're gonna give you a position. We're gonna get you this, like this. It was all about them wanting to get me better as a player. The area and the facility of Irvine was just unbeatable. So that decision really wasn't hard. They offered me on my visit, and I shook their hand right away. Like it was definitely something I knew where I belonged. So, and I had the best 3 years there at Irvine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
And we really saw that for you too. I was looking up some numbers on you, and you were, especially I think it was your junior year, man, you were killing it. Like just the overall improvement I saw in your numbers throughout. Like, was that more just kind of getting used to being in that sort of competition, or was that a different way you were training or something like that?
So I started high school as at 5'2". I'm about like 6'2", close to 6'3" right now. So I started high school at 5'2". I did around my junior year, I was like 5'6", 5'7". I graduated like under 6 foot, like 5'9", 5'10". So I was growing end of high school going into college, and that was a learning thing for me. My body was getting longer. There's parts of my body that were moving the way I didn't think. So definitely like that freshman year of college, that the talent elevated, but I had to get comfortable to the way I was moving. And so, yeah, I think in those 3 years, they really helped me notice that and do the right things to control my body. And that's it. I think that's it. Once I grew into knew who I was going to be, I was able to take off a little more.
So after your last year at UC Irvine, you ended up going into the draft, and we know every player has a different draft day experience, and we wanted to get to know yours. Talk to us a little bit about your draft day. Was it extremely stressful for you? Did you land around where you thought you were going to land?
So my whole thing was everyone wants to be a day one guy, obviously. I knew I knew. And I was like, if I get that call, that'll be crazy. With my talking to my agent was, we're looking day 2. And so day 2 was just me, my dad, and my sister. My mom had work. And so we were we watched the whole draft. You know, and you're looking at waiting, right? So we watched all of day 2, waiting for something to happen, and then nothing. So I think it was around the 10th, like the 3rd or 4th pick. I was like, I'm done watching this. Like it's not gonna. I went to my room. Like about 30 minutes later, agent called me. He was like, hey, like nobody even I'm gonna be honest with you, nobody even called. This is what we're gonna look for. We're gonna do this with money, like blah blah blah. Whatever. And so like that kind of little piece, I honestly after day 2 was like, I told my parents, I'm going back to college. This bullshit. I don't want it. Like nobody wants like that. I seriously was on this like rampage. And once again, parents kind of talked me down. And so next day, kind of just watched it. It was pretty early, day 3. But it happened quick. Like he called me, was like, hey, Rockies are coming up. They want you for this. Like this money, cool. And I was like, yeah, I mean, it would. He's like, all right, we're going to try to get a little more. But this was, all right, Rockies. And then, he hung up. Calling back 30 minutes. He's like, all right, yeah, we got this much money. Like, this is what. And I was like, oh, okay. And then the Rockies pick came up and then called me. My agent called me again. He's like, we got you 180. We got you so. And so, yeah, it was just like that within a minute. Boom. And then I was like, hey, you're a Rocky. And so, yeah, wow. I think when you see your name, and you hear the call, like then it's like, all right, yeah, maybe I'll do this. Maybe I don't have to go back to college.
Yeah,
So
I was
that was quite a roller coaster. Jeez.
Oh, definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to Orloff after day 2. Like, I was like, he was like, you know what? And he actually said, hey, I don't, not in a bad way. I don't want you to come back, but if you need to come back, like, if you want to come back, like, we're gonna take you, like, obviously, but he's like, think about and so, he kind of got me in perspective too.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Cool.
All right. You got the next one?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, geez, a lot of words. Let me summarize this. So, like, once players go into like the minor league system, they usually tend to like struggle their like rookie season, but like you really didn't do that. Your numbers only got better with your college days in almost every aspect.
Yeah.
How did you make that transformation from college to the minor leagues so fluid for yourself, so you didn't experience that typical rookie drop in numbers?
So I played West Coast League straight out of high school, and then I played 2 summers in Cape. And summer ball, it's not like minor leagues, but it's that format. You get up, you go to the park, you work out, you play, get up, you do it the next day. And so college has its different struggles with class, working out, like all that. But getting your body conditioned, you're waking up every day, playing every day, doing that kind of thing. Those summers really helped me with that, getting used to that. And so college, right? You get that busyness of being up for early weights, doing it 6 out of 7, But then playing every day is that aspect, and so body was good enough. And once I got into pro ball and was just all right, now it's the games that matter this much, like just as it was in college. I mean, I was ready for it. I mean, I always knew I was going to play professional baseball, so I got to that point and just kind of, this is what I'm here for. And from a playing standpoint, it's easier to know when you're going good and bad when you're playing every day, right? You can judge it. Your time to tell is that night before, and so college, it's every weekend. You get this little spurt, and then it's like that little Tuesday back to that weekend. But pro ball, it's every day, man. So when you're going good, it's easy to get that to go up, and notice when you're going down, definitely.
Yeah. So and I bet that, like, I mean, obviously, like you said with the classes, like, because Bobby and I are both in college right now.
Yeah.
So you're totally right. Like, trying to figure out going back and forth between classes and going and like working out and doing games to just doing games and like focusing your aspects on that is like, yeah, I totally know what you mean though.
Definitely different.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so after your really, really great rookie year in minor league ball, we would have loved to see what you could have done this year, but as we all know, couldn't have minor leagues this year. So how did you keep yourself in shape through this kind of extremely extended off season, if you would? Did your training differ, or did you just train more? Something like that?
Well, early on when the first shutdown happened, I want to say like first couple weeks, I really didn't do. I was not scared. I was like, I don't know if I should be going anywhere. Like we have this lockdown kind of thing, especially in California. It was kind of a little more strict. But it essentially went back to what I do in the offseason. What I did coming back from Irvine. I still have a couple friends who are playing college, D2s, stuff like that, and find a couple guys who want to hit. You go to a field, you hit all day, you take your own balls, and then you do something. And that's kind of what it is. My sister works at a gym, so that's where I would go to work out. Was lucky enough to have that place to go, a little smaller gym. But yeah, man, find a park. As long as someone can hit me ground balls and throw you BP, like that's definitely the work that I try to get in.
Yeah, for sure.
That's all you really need is just bring it back down to the basics, right?
Right. Yeah.
And right before MLB started their season, there were still some pitchers from the Riverside area who were like, got to keep their arms. So I had a couple live ABs. Like there was probably one or two every week for a good 3-week stretch where I was taking live ABs, and that was cool, get that rhythm. But then they all left, to do their thing, and so I was back to just getting BP. So I definitely felt that fall off coming up right before Instructs, because I mean we got to Instructs and the next day it was live arms. Here you go, and so I kind of felt that I was like, man, I haven't had this in a while, but it was just getting back into rhythm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
We actually know another pitcher from, I can't remember if he was from Riverside. I can't remember, but we did an interview 4 or 5 months back from a guy named Travis Kuhn.
Yeah.
You know him?
Norco. Yeah,
Man,
with the
Awesome.
Mariners.
Yeah.
Man, we had him on the show. It's awesome.
Nice. Yeah, we played travel ball together on the Colton Nighthawks. But yeah, I remember playing him at Norco too. Yeah, good guy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Baseball, small world, huh?
Yeah.
Baseball, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So, you kind of already mentioned this with Tatis, but like, who do you look at right now in the MLB and say, like, I want to be that? I want to be like them in the next 5 years.
Okay. I don't want to say I want to be like anyone. I'm going to be myself. Player comp wise,
Yeah.
I like the DJ LeMahieu. He's a taller dude. I'm taller, but he had that utility thing brung on him. But the fact is, he could play all three if he wanted to. You know, he's a big dude who just still got second, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that kind of feel for it, the versatility. But that was a thing too that people always brought up. The second I entered pro ball was the question of was I gonna hit? I've always felt like I like I never had an issue hitting, and so if that's the issue, you know, that's a simple fix for me, because I've always felt like my defense was the best part and the hitting was just gonna only elevate me. And so I think that's like a big thing with DJ did, especially, I mean, he had his time on the Rockies too, was he played the defense and he hit, and people were like, oh, this is a dude who can hit, that he's not just an infielder kind of thing. So I feel like I gravitate towards that.
Yeah, and I feel like with DJ, like when you look at him, when you watch him field, like he's so smooth and graceful when he fields, it's crazy.
That's a big boy too.
Huge.
I'm tall. He's way tall. He's taller than me, and he moves well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
All right, so it was actually last week on our episode. We sat down on Saturday, saw the trade, and we're like, we definitely want to sit down and have a talk with this guy, get to know him. And we told our fans, we're like, we're gonna do our best to get him in. We want to sit down and talk. So, once you saw that you were traded to the Red Sox, I know we talked about this a little before we hit record, but what were your initial thoughts on the trade, and everything like that?
So I was actually at work. I'm working at a local Christmas tree farm. Not too far from where I live. So I was working for maybe 5 minutes, and I got the call from the Rockies assistant GM, Zach Wilson. And his call it's something if he calls you. So yeah, I looked at it, answered and I was like, I'm at work. He's like, all right, I'll try to keep it quick. I have weird news for you. So then I was like, oh, okay, I'm not released. That's if it's weird, it can't be. And so yeah. He's made a deal with the Red Sox. Well, we got a pitcher. Like, don't think we got shorthanded. There are some things we tried, but you're the piece they wanted. Like usually. And so all this is happening while I'm at work, and I was like, ooh, like trying to think of it. So he was saying all this stuff, like his thank yous. I thank them for what they did for my career, definitely. And it was nothing bad, just back to the business of it kind of thing. So it was, the guy from Red Sox reach out to you, like, blah, 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 best of luck. So I went back, like, told the people working with, like, hey, I just got traded, like this, and it's a bunch of high school kids too, because it's like a local family thing. Like, oh, like it's like they're like going crazy for it, but I'm just like, all right. So then the Red Sox guy called me and said things how they were excited, and I was excited just because, like you talked about, the fact that is they wanted me. It wasn't like I got shipped over there. Like it was like there was something that they saw, which is a good feeling. And so, they called me and got off the phone. My sister is actually, before her Dodgers stint, she was a Red Sox fan because of Nomar. So she's always felt herself Red Sox.
Yeah,
So I sent out a text real quick like, "Hey, it's the Red Sox," and she was the one that went crazy for it. But yeah, and I didn't know until after work. Right now, I'm looking at. I didn't know it was just a straight up trade. I thought I was just in the part of something like going on with this pitcher. But yeah, it was straight up trade, and so it's like, oh, okay.
You were our main piece, and
and we
that's
need infielders like
Yes.
badly.
yeah, that's
So.
really saying something though, because the guy that you got traded for, Johan Eibar, he is one of the pitchers that we had. He was one of our very few closing pitchers because we traded
The only one
Workman.
in our organization.
Yep. But yeah, so seeing that Heim really wanted you for that made us really excited because it means that he sees a ton of potential in you.
Yeah, exactly.
So man,
And he definitely knows how to build minor league systems. Like if you look at the Rays and see how crazy they are, like
absolutely.
yeah.
No, I agree. And like I said, so hearing that it was Red Sox, so right away it's you understand the culture, the history that the organization brings too. So I mean, I don't think anyone's ever going to be mad that they're getting going to the Red Sox.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
And especially when my first initial thought was, man, I'm not going to be able to play baseball anymore. So going to the Red Sox over being released is definitely a great feeling.
Yeah,
for sure.
And here's a hint though, because all of our minor league systems and everything is in the Northeast. Especially if you go to Portland, buy a winter jacket.
Yeah,
right. It's a lot different than
cold.
California here.
Man.
I know.
Yeah. So speaking of the New England area, have you ever been? I know you said you were like Cape Cod, but have you been like up past that, or is that?
So we did a workout in Boston both years. My junior year, luckily my family got to come visit out, and they actually were there when we did our Boston workout. So we did a family thing down in Boston, but that's all I've ever been. Yarmouth, Dennis, I've been to all those Cape things, been around there a little bit, but yeah, Boston's the most northeast I would say I've been to.
Yeah, cool.
Like I said, it's a whole different world. It's so much different. But I did have a couple more questions for you. I had one off the top of my head that I completely forget. But so for our Red Sox fans, we kind of want to, like I said, we want to get to know you also. And I want to ask, what can we see out of Christian Koss for the next foreseeable future?
Yeah. So we talk about how I always knew I wanted to be a professional baseball player, and it's not so much about the stardom and the fact of being professional baseball. It's about the act of baseball itself. I love the game. I love everything that it brings. I love going to the field to working out. I love taking thousands of ground balls. That's where the passion comes from. So when it's in season, when it's in a game, and it matters something, I think that's the biggest thing is people tell that I care and I'm there for a reason. So joy, like the passion. I like to say I'm composed. I'm composed for the most part. I don't want to try to get too mad at things or with umpires or other players, but that's what I try to pride myself on is having the energy and the passion, and what comes along with it comes along with it. But if you can see that from afar, then you can definitely see that from clubhouse. So that's what I always try to bring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sounds great.
So, Ari, do you have any other questions before we get into that final question that we have?
I don't think so, man.
All right.
I just wanted to say right now, first of all, that you are the first position player on this podcast. We've interviewed.
Oh, yeah.
So we were like, yes, we finally have a position player.
we was building a whole pitching rotation out of guys that we've interviewed. I don't know if you'll ever get to meet him, but one of the guys who played for the Little Spinners, named Brendan Salucci, a closing pitcher, he came on the podcast once we originally started. We were on episode 4? This is episode
like that.
40.
We just started.
Yeah. So if you ever get to meet him, he's a great guy. Really,
Yeah.
really
He's
good guy.
Yeah.
But I did kind of want to ask, because we have, people think of you, they think of baseball player. They think that's it. Do you have any other hobbies besides being a baseball player?
Okay. I do a lot of things. I like golf. I recently got into golf. I actually was working at a golf course before I got sent to Instructs. I was working there for like a month and a half, which helped because I was able to golf for free, and golf isn't cheap. So
no, it's not. It's not.
Anything sports. I have a dog, so I like doing stuff with my dog. I have a little husky.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I don't want to say hobbies because I find myself doing one thing, so many things, so many different days. Like spark of interest. If I find something, I bought Hot Wheels from Dollar Tree a couple nights ago. Bought like $10 worth of Hot Wheel tracks and made a whole track through my apartment just because.
I love that. That's awesome.
I made a bowling alley in my parents' backyard out of like plywood and stuff because during quarantine, like I just got bored. I go on these things where if I can find resources, I have this idea like I can build that, it's even better. So that's where I usually find myself in times where I'm not doing baseball. If I'm not out of field doing something, I try to find something to occupy myself with. It's always something. I promise you, I'm never bored. I won't let myself get bored.
Man, that is awesome. I'm the same way too. Like you can't leave me sitting down doing nothing for a long amount of time. I always need to be doing something.
Yeah.
Quarantine sucked. Like honestly, the only way I could get through that was doing like these podcasts. So I was like, all right, I can talk about something, and, I'm doing something rather than just like sitting and playing on my PS4.
Yeah.
So.
Wait, I do have one more question because I know California's quarantine rules throughout this entire thing have been really, really strict, more strict than other places. This is gonna be a little weird question, but did you ever like completely grow out your hair during quarantine? Because I know Ari did, and it was
actually I stopped it. I chopped my hair and I got a mullet, and then I was like, oh no, we're not doing that ever again.
I always go for so my hair grows really straight. It goes like this when I have to push it, kind of hold it if I wear a hat all day. But other than that, my hair would be like super straight. So I did grow it. I was like, because obviously it was time in it. And this got like super shaggy. Like if you can imagine Coconut Head didn't get a haircut, that's how my hair started growing. It started growing down that way. And like this, I was trying to like hold it back, but it kept wanting to come forward. Like it wasn't long enough to hold back. So it was long enough to braid. My girlfriend started braiding it a couple times. And then I was just like, it's too long. Let's just
No,
if my hair just got wavy, I had the flip back there.
I got that right now. Yeah.
I just got straight people. It's just straight. It wants to grow like a chia pet. So.
Man, that's the last thing I expected is to throw a Ned's Declassified reference into this interview, but here we are. All right. So, like I said before, man, this has been awesome. We would love to get you back in probably sometime after the season to check in on you, see how you like wherever they put you. If I had to guess, have you gotten any? You probably can't tell us, but have you gotten any word on that?
I really don't know if I could tell you, but I haven't gotten any word. Like I said, all the phone talks I've been with them is about medical stuff.
Gotcha.
Trying to get me like, off-season stuff, getting ready. That's all spring training, anyways. I didn't even know. I mean, we only had a little bit of spring training before we got shut down this year, but I was practicing with the high A team with the Rockies. But even then, that doesn't mean that's where you were going. So, like it's all spring training. That's what it all comes down to, anyways. They're gonna put you somewhere in that, and you either elevate or you don't. So,
yeah, Ari and I already placed our bets in last week's episode. We're saying Portland.
That's really close to me. So
that's our guess. Ari lives 20 minutes outside of Portland, so you'll go.
Like half hour outside. And when I'm not doing anything, I'm just like, let's go watch a Sea Dogs game, and
hopefully you'll be able to this year. Hopefully,
I sure hope. So. I'm getting bored of just like playing MLB The Show. Like, jeez.
Got to get out and watch some baseball.
Yeah, definitely.
Ari, you got the last question?
I do.
And this is a
So-
question we like to ask everyone that we have on because we love to get everyone's different opinion on it.
Okay.
What would you say to that high school kid who's trying to make it to pro ball? How much training went into you getting to this point?
Phew, it's a great question. I can understand why you asked that to everybody. I think the first thing you have to decide is baseball what you're trying to pursue. Some people are most people who play baseball are multi-sport athletes, and I think that any sport requires constant preparation and repetition. There's that aspect to it, but baseball definitely. And I think that in high school, when I felt myself starting to grow a little more, going towards my junior year, and I realized, okay, maybe I have a chance at this. It became going to high school practice and then getting more ground balls from my dad after, and hitting after with my dad, doing that 4 times a week, and doing all the extra, going to the weight room, but then going later that night. Whenever you think you're putting in work, there's someone putting in that work too. So I think high school, I got that early sense of, okay, if I want to get to all these taller guys and stronger guys who are better than me, there's this little more that I have to do just to keep up. And so I think that's the biggest thing is if once you get to that point in high school where that's what you want to do and there's a level you're trying to reach, it becomes doing that work constantly to get yourself to that point. And I had that ambition. I had that work ethic in high school. Things went along to where the right school got me, and things like that. But it's not the stress over going to a school or going. If you play good and you have something to offer, there are so many schools across the nation, D1, D2, and like that offers that where you can play and be successful. That it matters. And so if you can put that off, and someone will want you, it's definitely a thing. But it goes down to that. I think telling yourself that this is what I'm gonna do, and you work for it. Like you work.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
Man, this has been awesome. Getting to know you, getting to see your baseball story. It's been amazing. Before we go, you got anything you want to say to us or our fans watching?
No, I appreciate it, man. I'm really excited to be a part of this. I'm glad that there's people excited for me to be a part of it. I love the question. I've seen a couple of your guys' episodes, so you guys do good stuff. I appreciate people who have a passion for baseball who aren't playing in it right now. People who want to talk about baseball, I love it because I love talking about baseball. And so to have an opinion and have this stuff and the knowledge you guys have, I think it's great, man. I think you guys are doing good stuff.
So what I'm hearing is we've made a fan out of Christian Koss for the Pesky podcast.
Yeah.
Let's go. All right. With that being said, to the fans, we appreciate you guys as always for watching. We'll see you guys next time.